So welcome to the inaugural monthly debrief from theplayersaid.com. My name's Alexander.
And I'm Grant.
And we're trying to do something new here, so bear with us. Monthly debrief is going to be kind of a video slash a little bit of a podcasty type thing where you're not going to get a review out of us, but we're going to talk generally about the games that we've played, upcoming projects that we've got, and then typically what we'll do is we'll go through and have a discussion about a hobby-related topic that has been suggested to us by one of our patrons on our Patreon account.
Yeah.
Today...
frankly, this is a stream of consciousness.
Yes.
So brace yourselves.
And it's our first time. So
45 minutes you're never going to get back.
If it turns out to be half decent, I'll also just cut the video and put it as an audio only on podcast platforms. Okay. So that way, for those who want to consume this way...
That might be better for those that are viewing sensitive. They would hear our melodious voices, but they wouldn't get the garbage.
Yes, so we just have to be very descriptive about what we're doing. So
I'm now moving to look at this. No, yeah, sorry.
So, first segment was what we're going to talk about. Basically, the games we've played in the last month. Yeah. So that would have been January of 2021.
And it's amazing that January 2021 has come and gone.
I know, right?
It's unreal.
It's gone by very, very quickly.
31 days of bliss.
Yes.
So
we played, I think, 3 big war games.
Yes. And a lot of
other non-war games.
Yeah. A lot of Lord of the Rings, Journeys in Middle-earth, and Jaws of the Lion, Gloomhaven.
Yeah, I think Journeys in Middle-earth was one of the first things we played in January.
It was,
because
we finished a campaign.
We were wrapping up a campaign, and up to date, we've played every single one of those.
Embarrassingly so.
We've played all of it. It's excellent fun. There is a review of that on our YouTube channel. That's an enjoyable, fun adventure game that we play with our father-in-law. He really
and it's really just... I'm not going to say mindless fun, because there's some... There's a lot of thought to it, but it's just fun. It's for fun.
Yeah, that's our...
We're doing it for fun.
Game.
Yeah.
Then we, like you said, our father-in-law also, he purchased Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion, which I posted an unboxing of that recently. We've played the big box of Gloomhaven. I have that over there on the shelf. Love that game.
And when you say played, we have logged well over 75 plays of that stupid game.
Yes. Not stupid.
No. It's amazing.
It's amazing.
But it's amazing to me that we've spent that much time.
We've sunk a lot of hours into it.
A lot of... Sometimes on Saturday, we'll play for like 6 hours.
Yeah.
And your wife starts to hate us, and the kids destroy the house, but we have a good time. It's for fun.
Yes. And
war games are for fun too, but that's just fun.
Yes. That's kind of just I don't have to worry about anything else.
Yeah, we don't shoot videos about it. We don't take notes or pictures. We don't write anything on the blog about it. We just have fun.
Yeah. So love Gloomhaven. He bought Jaws of the Lion, which is basically a Gloomhaven intro set. But it's still got 25 new scenarios, and 4 new characters, and a bunch of new enemies. Yeah. So
and the best part of that game is playing the new characters, learning their abilities, their cards, and understanding how to use them, and then how to work together. Yeah, we love it.
So we spent a good chunk of time, because we watched NFL playoffs and then played that.
Which I'm surprised we were able to do that after the Colts lost, but
we needed to play Gloomhaven to take our minds off of that.
Yeah, that hard loss.
And then, I swear, every team in the playoffs that I didn't want to win won.
Has won, yeah.
So it's been very disappointing in that sense.
I'm telling you, don't bet against Tom Brady. I think he's going to win tomorrow, frankly.
I mean, it's one of those things where you're like, I don't want him to win.
I don't either.
But
Sorry, our friends in the East Coast.
But I also know that he will win.
Yeah.
And that will further cement his legacy as the best QB of all time.
I don't even know that that's a question, but it will further cement it. You're right. Yeah, that was a very appropriate choice of words.
It's just like, it's one of those inevitabilities. It's Death, Texas, and Tom Brady's Super Bowl.
I mean, he's been
great.
What is this?
We get it. Yeah. Can someone else have a go? We get it. That's how I feel at this point.
This is his 10th Super Bowl, and he's won...
This will be... he's won
6, so this could be number 7. I mean, we're Colts fans. We have... 2 Super Bowls in the last 15 years and only 1 victory.
Yeah.
Which, that was glorious, but Dang.
Yeah. So
Anyway,
we watched that, played Gloomhaven Draws a Line. Really, really good game. It's fun, enjoyable.
Yeah.
I think the first couple weeks of the year, it was freezing cold. It was getting off of winter break, so we were just playing games for fun.
Well, we also were just really starting to come back to playing fairly regularly. We had really taken breaks before the holidays because of COVID, and because of the holidays. So
and our mother-in-law, John's wife, was out of town, so that helped us.
So he had nothing to do.
He could dedicate lots of time to it.
Yeah.
After we did that, so we spent probably the latter half of January getting back to some war games.
Yeah.
We're trying to wrap up 2020 games so that we can kind of do a 2020 list. And so we played Chancellorsville from Worthington.
Great game. We had a really good time with that. Better than its initial system, Freeman's Farm.
Yes.
And when I say better than, it just, to me, it expounds upon it and really...
Yeah, you keep everything that was good in Freeman's Farm, and they've just added more good stuff.
Hidden movements and other cool things.
And then we played Rostov 41 from MMP.
And that was our first real hardcore Hex Encounter war game for a while in the Standard Combat series.
Yes.
And man, I loved it.
And that was, that was our first ever SCS game.
Yeah.
And it was really good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Designed by Ray Weiss. Came out in 2020.
Yeah.
We bought as part of the MMP sale.
Yes.
I was glad we played it.
That one wasn't on sale because it was new.
But we bought it during the sale.
Yeah, I bought a bunch of games last year during the MMP sale. I just was like, anything that either looked interesting or that was like cheap, I was like, sod it, we'll toss it in.
Yeah.
Right? And then that one. And so we've got a big stack of us to play. But Rostov 41... That SCS system's really good.
Well, it's good because it's just classic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's classic. There's some overrun combat. There's a lot of maneuver options and choices, and a lot of times on those East Front games, you don't necessarily have that. But it formed the lines, don't get me wrong, but we had some movement choices to kind of get there.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
I thought the system's really good, and I want to play more in that system. It's been around for a long time, and having played it now, I'm like, oh, it's obvious why. And like you said, it's quite a classical style of war game as well. When you play it, you're like, yes, I have played a war game.
Yeah, and I have Day of Days. You have, what was the one we decided?
I've got the Mighty Endeavor.
The Mighty Endeavor. So we're going to try to break those out in the next couple of months and dive into that system. We also have TCS... Ariete to play. That's a 2020 game, right?
Yes.
A reintroduction of that
TCS system.
Kind of that. They stopped it for a while, or there was a long break.
I don't know if they just had a hiatus from it, but they were trying to put that back in. So we've got that one to play. But the last two games that we've played recently, we've played Brotherhood and Unity from Compass Games. Mm-hmm. That one was excellent.
I had a great time with that one. We shot a fairly long review. That's a game that's going to reward multiple plays, and it's also made for 3 players.
Yeah, we played it 2. There are rules for 2-player and how it works, but it's having played it, we're like, oh no, we want to play it 3-player.
Oh yeah,
you want to get into that meat of it.
We're taking it to a con whenever we get back to a con.
And then today we played Jacobite Rising, which is a Commands and Colors game, using the Tricorn system, also from Compass. Played that.
Yeah, and then a standalone expansion.
Yes, so that basically. That's all the games that we played in the last month.
Which is sad. I feel like there was a couple weeks where we didn't do anything.
But that's also a lot of games, I feel, compared to... People comment all the time.
I know. How do you play this many games?
And I'm like
today, we've still got... We're going to play 2 more games today.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to be here till like 7 o'clock at night. We're going to play two more games, try to understand them, and that's just what we do.
What else are we playing today?
What else are we playing? Well, we're playing a prototype game for a Kickstarter that comes out at the end of February called Judean Hammer.
Yes.
It is a look at the Maccabeite Rebellion. I can't remember the years, but...
Ancients.
Yeah, it's like Ancients period. Catastrophe Games is a new company. It's their first Kickstarter. The game's designed by Robin David. I'm not sure if it's his first game, but I think it is his first game. It's kind of an area move, card-driven war game, area impulse type system.
Okay.
I think it looks really interesting and fun. The cool thing about it is it's one of those deck destruction type games. You're not building a deck, but you play those events, they leave your hand.
Right.
And those are your more powerful activation cards. So they're going to activate more units. And if you get rid of them all at the beginning, you may have a nice lead, but then at the end of the game, you're going to have trouble.
Yes.
So it's a matter of balancing that. So it looks really interesting. There's some ambush concepts for the Maccabeans as they can ambush the Greeks, and looks really good. So we're going to play that one.
Yes. I think we're also going to try and tackle Fury at Midway.
Yep.
From Revolution Games. It's a small Midway game. You have two maps, one place, and everything's hidden, so you're moving around.
And we love those games. Those kind of games are always fun and interesting.
It's a little folio game that came out from Revolution Games in 2020, and I bought it almost a year ago.
Yeah, I think you bought it right at the beginning of the year.
I did. I think it was when I bought that, and it's just one that I bought it, and then it was like immediately Indiana went into lockdown. And it was like it was a 2-player game. You really can't play it solo because it's all hidden movement stuff. Yeah. So I was like, great. So it's taken a back seat for a long time, but it's quick and dirty. We should be able to get that played today as well.
That's probably all we're going to play today. I know one of the parts of this concept is we wanted to talk about like upcoming Kickstarters that we're doing either a preview for.
Or just things we're interested in.
Or interested in. So
and Judean Hammer's one of them, right?
Yeah, Judean Hammer. Another one that I just did an interview with, we didn't play a prototype or do anything with, was a game on the Cold War called DEFCON 1. Mm-hmm. Very interesting looking game from a company called Asynchron Games. It's a French publisher. The designer is French, Florian Dumont. Very interesting looking game because the concept is, and this actually sounds kind of bad, but it's Cold War, but you're not trying to prevent World War III. You're really trying to build towards that.
Interesting.
It's a matter of you're trying to maneuver and do it when it's most appropriate for your side.
You're trying to build up your strength without triggering it?
Yes, and then trying to unleash it when the moment is right.
Okay.
So it's an interesting... There's some...
Grim.
Yeah, it's a little grim, but it's got some combat units. It's also got some technologies. There's a space race.
Interesting.
It's actually on Kickstarter right now, and I think till the end of the month.
Okay.
But it looks really interesting. Very well done. The board's fantastic. And they take a different look. It's not just East versus West. So it's like the Atlantic Alliance, which is, England. And,
NATO, basically.
Yeah, kind of NATO. And then it's Warsaw Pact. And then it's also some other countries, kind of third world countries that band together and are trying to emerge.
Okay.
So think North Africa, India, kind of that area.
Right. Okay.
So it looks interesting. Did a great interview. It's on the blog. I think, and it's actually already funded.
So yeah, if you can just sign up and there's no risk.
Yeah, but it to me it's a really great looking game. So that's one. Then the Judean Hammer, and then I know you've got one.
Yeah, I have. This is just a printed out black and white. So the 1979 revolution in Iran. I got the rules for this. Got a prototype copy. This is from Dan Bullock. And he designed No Motherland Without, which is a game that's actually just been kickstarted by Compass, I think.
Yes, I want to say it was completed already.
I'm pretty sure
last month.
I'm pretty sure it is,
and it was funded.
But yeah, that's a game that he's been working on that one for a number of years. We played a prototype of that
very interesting
3 years ago.
Yeah,
and it was he was looking to try and do it independently. Got picked up by Compass, which I'm very happy about because that's a good game, and I would recommend that to a lot of people. It's very interesting. But this is a new design of his, and it's obviously about the revolution in Iran. It's a card-driven game. This one's being published. I think it'll be on Kickstarter. But it's being published by a non-profit organization. So you're going to buy those. You probably get a good game, but you're also going to be it contributes to a charity. Which
do you know what the charity is, or even what it's focused on?
I do, but I forgot.
Okay, well,
I got it on an email.
Look for the preview video, and
I even looked into it because it's a good cause. It's not like it was something that was very interesting. So, and I don't know. I think that's both hopefully a good war game, which we'll see because we're going to play that soon. But
we
also,
love card-driven war games. I mean, they're always very interesting because you learn. You learn about the history. You learn about the sides involved, and it's an interesting back and forth tug of war. We like card-driven games.
It's nice to be able to I don't know, donate a bit. Like, how often does our very niche hobby get to do some good in the actual wide world, right? So you do all of that as well. So that's nice. So that's.
And Dan Bullock, I will say this, if you didn't pay attention to last month's P500 monthly update email from GMT, Dan Bullock went in with two other designers, Chris Bennett and Joe Schmidt.
Yes.
And Joe, I've done 4 or 5 interviews with him. He does small, typically solo war games, but they're really great. But the three of them are doing a new game called In the Shadows with GMT Games. And it's a French Resistance 1944 style game that's... I wouldn't call it coin, but it's that concept, but it's a little different. You know, there's hidden elements, hidden units. You've got some back and forth.
Yeah, it's not tanks and men shooting each other in a line, right?
It's partisan resistance forces kind of fighting it out, and I'm struggling.
I have high hopes for that game.
Yeah, I think it already overcame the 500 orders. It actually came out of that contest they did, the Consem Game Jam.
Oh, it's from there?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And the reason I mentioned coin is because they had to use a coin game as a base. And I believe correct me if I'm wrong, I think they used Falling Sky.
I don't know.
You use the map and the components. So you're not using the rules.
They've just transposed that into something else.
And that's why it's a French game, because Gaul and France, same area.
Okay.
So that it didn't win that contest, but it placed in the contest and then it got signed.
Yeah, if you get signed, surely, in theory, you win in the long run.
Well, you've won, and you've impressed Gene and his development team, probably Jason Carr and others. But really, I have high hopes for that game.
Yeah,
because it's a game on a subject that I think looks very interesting. So, congrats to Dan and Chris and Joe. I'm working on an interview with them. Probably will be in March. I've just got so many going.
Well, yeah, there's a lot to look forward to with some new things that are coming out. Okay, so other things that we wanted to talk about in this format is then normally we'll have kind of like more of a more focused topic, but what we wanted to talk about today in kind of this final segment is what are we doing in our lives and in the blog, so to speak. Mm-hmm. So, one thing that you'll see is, well, as we're recording this, it'll be tomorrow, is going to be the first episode of another new series, which is going to be our Wargame Basic Training series.
Yeah.
This is something that a lot of people have been asking for, and in the past, I've kind of thought about attempting to try it.
Well, it takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
Because I did the first one.
Yes.
And we'll talk. But it takes a lot of work. You can't just slap it up because it's going to suck. And it may suck anyway. That's my first attempt. But I tried to do some research. I tried to look at the strategies and then talk about an element of the game that I focused on. And now there's going to be 2 other follow-up to it. But yeah, you can't just throw it together. It's got to be kind of done.
So yeah, these basic training videos are going to be more of rules learning, instructional, educational videos. Try to help you to learn to play some of the more complicated games out there. Yeah. And we get a lot of people saying like, oh, can you do these instructional videos? Or like...
do one on Next War series. Well, we're not ready for that.
Yeah.
We're not ready
for that. The first one tomorrow is going to be it's for Labyrinth. Mm-hmm. You do Labyrinth... and you're doing... the first video is about just the interaction of card play. Yeah. How you use cards, what to look at on the cards, and what they're about, basically.
Yeah. How you get the cards, how they are modified, how you use them, what you do with them. Yeah. Yeah.
And then there's going to be follow-ups to that. They're going to cover other topics within those.
I'm going to do 2 more videos, and I've got it set up to do the next one. Okay. It's going to be on the ops for the United States, how to do what they want to do, your war of ideas and those kind of things. And then the next one's going to be the jihadist, which I'm terrible at, frankly.
Well, yeah, I might get in on that action.
Yeah, you may end up doing that one only because you're better at it than I am.
I play them basically every time.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's more of an in-depth look. I think it's a little bit more in-depth than even our reviews. I think we get a little crunchy in our reviews sometimes, but we're literally going kind of point by point by point. I have high hopes for the series. I think people will like it.
Yeah.
And I think as we work the bugs out, we may get into some of the more complex, complicated, like we keep getting asked, do one for Next War. Well, we haven't even played a Next War series game.
That's a ways off.
We have several of them. We've tried to grok the rules, but it's complex.
Yeah, those aren't simple games.
And then to have the confidence, I think that's something you guys all need to understand. To have that confidence, to put yourself out there and act like you know something about what you're talking about,
and to do it properly.
Yeah, to do it well.
It's real easy to make an educational video and teach someone how to play a game wrong.
Yep.
That's easy. Anyone can do that. You can do that. I can do that. Yeah, because I tried to do something like this at Fields of Fire a couple of years ago, and it was just like, it was a mess.
But it was still helpful. But it was a mess, right?
And I kept meaning to revisit it, and it was like, ugh. But then you came to me a couple of months ago and were like, we should do this. And I'm like, yes, we should. I know we should. People ask, and we should definitely do it. It's just, it's a lot. Yeah. And I remember when you first pitched the idea to me, it was, we can make these like short little 10-minute videos. And it's like, here's this really focused topic. We're going to talk about this thing, and then this thing. And then,
it's a 45-minute video.
Yeah, I then get a text that's like, I've just finished the first episode. It's 42 minutes long. I'm like, okay. So that's a view into our lives.
Well, that's probably me too. I just never...
But
I just keep talking.
But that's also a reality of some of the games that we play, right?
Yeah,
It's hard to break things down into really small bite-sized topics. And if people can do that, and I've seen series where they
skilled.
do, yeah, that's very impressive.
I don't have the ability to do that because if you'll watch this first video, you'll see that it's like, oh, there's a moment where I'm like, did I do that right? So I have to kind of double check myself, even though we've played that game how many times?
A lot.
25, 30 times. I still had to, because it's that confidence thing. So it turned into a 42-minute video. I still think it's a decent video.
It'll be fine.
It was my first attempt. I think my next ones will be more clean and I think a little quicker. I say that, but it's not going to happen. So anyway.
But with some of these games, it's also hard because you're like, this does this, and this does this, and this does this.
And if this happens, you might do this.
Those lead on to a lot of branching paths and trying to keep that contained whilst still explaining the rules without seeing all the effects can be very difficult.
Well, to give you an example, so in Labyrinth, when I play a card for the ops that has your event on it, that event goes off.
Yes.
So it's not as simple as explaining that, hey, when you do that, then you have to start saying, well, there's an order to this. The playing player gets to choose. Does the event go off first, or do the ops go off first? Because sometimes you might be able to use the op and eliminate a condition for you to play the event and actually get a benefit out of that. So I gave a couple of examples of that. So it turned into a simple concept that I thought would take 14 seconds to describe. 17 minutes later, I had talked about 3 types of examples and how I might do that to avoid the negative effects.
Yes.
So that's an example, and I think there's a lot of things like that in the games that we play. So it's not as simple as just... And I'll be honest, if I wanted to put 50 hours into it and shoot little segments, I could make it a lot better. I don't have that kind of time.
Yeah.
So it has to be kind of a 40-minute stream of consciousness, moving through things, and then we go from there. I don't have the editing skills. I don't have the ability.
But I'm hoping it'll still just be a good resource for you to learn some of these games. I know I had sat down and was like, oh, I'm going to do one for Empire of the Sun. And
you can't find your cards.
I opened my 2-inch box Empire of the Sun, and I store the cards separately, and I can't find them.
Why do you store the cards separately?
Because it's a 2-inch box.
Because it's a frickin' 2-inch box. Should be a 25-inch box.
I'm not fancy enough for the 3-inch box yet. So.
Did you know that the copy I have has?
I do. I didn't know that.
Box? Yeah, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I was supposed to bring my cards to you, and I
gotta find us
because I had 14 other things to bring.
But we're gonna do series on things like Empire of the Sun. planning on doing one for unconditional surrender.
I think that's one you should do.
At some point.
I would like to do one on, say, Liberty or Death. Coin game.
And I'll probably do one on Fire in the Lake as well.
Yeah.
Some of those crunchy games that scare people off. Because if we can break those down into some bite-sized chunks, going through your ops menu. What does this do? Yep. How do I do,
How do I do a rally?
Yeah.
And explain that.
I want to get more troops on the board. How do I do that?
Yeah.
Well, here's your options. And because those are the kind of things that, when you have a trillion options, it scares people off.
Well, and even you and I, we're coin veterans. We've played every single volume, and most of them multiple times. There are times I sit and look at that menu, and my head hurts.
Yeah.
Because there's so many things you have to do to make this one work.
Yeah.
And you can't. It's not as easy as just doing a rally. Sometimes you have to make sure you have done this so you have the money to do a rally.
Yes.
And it's just not easy. And I think those are great games that if we can help people digest with a little instructional video, they're going to get played more.
I hope so. That's the plan.
Yeah, that's the goal.
We will see those. That's going to be some new content that's coming, as well as hopefully we do one of these every month.
Yeah, we've talked about doing one of these every month. I think I've also discussed with you, and I think we aren't going to do it this month just because we don't have the time. I do that Wargame Watch feature every month on the blog. I identify this month it was 18 different games. And I do a simple write-up with connections to those pages just to let people know, here's what's out there. I'd like to do that for our video audience as well.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do it because we've got a screen like this. Could we put the box right here in between our face and it shows up? Or do we even need to do that? But that's something I'd love to do.
Yeah,
and we may not cover all 18 of them, but we may cover the highlights.
We'll work out some things for that as well. So that's... Just know that there's stuff in the works, which is always grand.
We have found out that people they tend to watch those videos that we just ramble.
Yes.
Like our retrospective from 2020. That was a 45-minute rambling video that now has been viewed
thousands and thousands and thousands
like 4,000 times.
Yeah.
And so obviously somebody likes that crap.
Yes, they do.
I don't know who, but somebody. So anyway, we've talked about ways to do that Wargame Watch feature on the video.
Yes.
But I don't want to do 18 games because that'll be a 2-hour video, and I don't think... it's just too much.
Well, yeah, and then it becomes obsolete after 2 months.
Well, that's just it, yeah. And I've thought about, can I have my laptop set up here and I could actually be looking at
That's probably a really good way to do it.
And just scroll down and really just hit 5 or 6 that were big. I think we can do it.
Yes.
I think we can do it. We'll figure out how to do it.
Yes. So, other things that we got going on, and you can see it here.
Yeah.
We have this big old pile of Aliens, Another Glorious Day in the Core from Gale Force 9.
Who doesn't love Aliens-themed games?
Almost no one in our audience doesn't like it. I mean, that's a lot of negatives, but everyone loves it.
Yeah.
So, where does this come from?
So this is from Gale Force 9. I have been following this game for like 3 years because they announced it in 2017 and it was supposed to be at Gen Con in 2018, but because of licensing struggles and difficulties and production, it just got pushed and pushed and pushed. But Gale Force 9, they do a lot of games based on TV shows, not video games. What am I trying to... Movies, TV shows, etc. Not IPs, but...
No, yeah, they have...
Yeah, I guess they have some.
They have some good... I guess they had Spartacus, Firefly...
Yeah, that's
Doctor
true.
Who. They do a lot of stuff.
And we love those games. Because they're fun. They're narrative-driven. A lot of times they have miniatures. So anyway, I've been following this game, been into this game, been wanting this game... And they finally released the pre-order like 6 or 7 months ago, maybe 8 months ago. And I jumped on it, and it got delayed and delayed and delayed. And finally, I think it was just before Christmas.
Yeah.
It arrived. And it's miniatures based. So everything is miniatures, from the Colonial Marines to the Xenomorphs you're fighting, and then the Queen, and you've got little terrain.
The little terrain pack we got. It's a dungeon crawler, basically, and it's a co-op game as well.
Yep.
Although with one of the expansions, you can do it opposed.
You can be the aliens, I can be the colonial marines, or vice versa. But it's just a fun-looking game. Uses cards, uses a lot of dice. There's a lot of dice luck, I think. Yeah. It can end very badly and very quickly, or you can do really well, and it seems heroic. And you've been painting it up for the last month. They look gorgeous.
Yes.
Check that out on... And you'll talk a little bit about your new channel, Spruegate.
Yeah, so as a companion to a lot of the stuff that you'll see from us, I've started a YouTube channel and a Twitter account called the Spruegate, and that's where you'll see like painting tutorials for this stuff. I got painting tutorials for like my battle group of Flames of War stuff, and then there's upcoming stuff as well.
You got to show off
for like scale modeling. So. Right here, I spent a long time building this 1/35th scale Tamiya M41 Walker Bulldog, and I don't know. I scale model a lot when I was a kid, and I've painted a lot of miniatures in the last 10 years since I met you as well. And I got back into scale modeling fairly recently, and I wanted just to keep all of this kind of physical, that hobby aspect in one channel, but also be able to show you some of those things. Because there's also a lot of crossover with some of the wargame stuff. So this particular tank, I opened it up and it has some decal sets for like US and Korea, US and Vietnam, Japanese Ground Self-Defense Force. And I was musing about it online, about what I was going to do, how I was going to do the tank up. And then Patrick, he's a designer for... is it a Hot Dry Season?
A Hot Dry Season from Legion Wargames.
Yeah, he's a war
not
game
out
designer.
yet, but coming out.
He was then like, oh, you're gonna do it with Arvin markings, and I was like, I wasn't going to, but now I am.
will. And there you go.
And he pointed me towards some third party decals that had like just these amazing like hand painted dragons on it, and I was like, I have to have that on a tank.
Yeah, and it looks amazing. I mean, it does look amazing.
And so it's just really cool seeing a couple of my other hobbies kind of intersect in that way.
Yeah.
So if you want to check that out, there'll be painting tutorials for all these aliens, for like board games that we'll play, but then a whole bunch of other stuff. And there'll be other war game reviews, like tabletop stuff on there as well. So
like we've done some Games Workshop games on our...
Yes.
On our channel, but maybe we'll move that over there just because...
Probably not.
Who knows? Yeah, I mean, people still watch those, but I will say this about that channel. You've spent some time on pre-production and post-production and lighting and setting. And are we garbage? Is the player's aid garbage?
No. It's just that painting tutorials are very boring. And so
you're trying to zhuzh it up.
Spice it up a bit.
You've got some funky techno music in the background.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, that's a wicked beat there. And you're painting, and you even have some fast forwarding. What do you call that?
Yeah, it's some time remapping.
Yeah, I mean, it looks amazing. You know, can we do that with some of our discussions?
Yeah, what we'll do is we'll fast forward through all of our discussions and just get to showing the board.
It's a good game.
Because that's what they want. Yeah. And then we'll fast forward everything else.
Yeah, right. But no, I think that channel looks really good. I think you've done a good job. You even do like little scripts, which is funny, and you throw your jokes in there. I've watched every one of them. I think you have 4 videos now?
I think there's 4, and I've got,
some others you're working on.
And like, what you can't see over here is all my...
Yeah. Like please don't show it because it's a flipping disaster.
Yeah, it's like a whole mess of paints and models and everything. It's kind of insane over there. But, I don't know, there's just a lot of stuff that we're working on to make the players aid better.
Yep.
With new types of content, you'll still get unboxing videos.
Yeah.
We'll still get our war game reviews. We'll still do our annual wrap-ups and interviews.
Well, we're still going to play
like
3 to 5 games a month. I mean, that's never going to change.
Nothing's going away. We're just trying
to do some new things.
A couple more things.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of work, but hopefully it'll pay off for you and be something worthwhile.
It's funny. You say that it'll be worthwhile and it'll pay off and it'll be good and people will love it. And we literally posted a 4-minute chuckle session because occasionally we'll get in those moods where we're tired.
Yeah.
I got up at 6:50 this morning, got Marin ready, and we drove over here and we started playing at 8, and I probably won't leave till 7 or 8 tonight. Yeah. So sometimes during the end of the days, we start losing it.
You get a bit loopy.
Yeah, and that was 4 minutes of just us losing it. And then we started feeding each other, and it was like, I was calm, and then you kept losing it. So then I started losing it again. But that video has done way more views than the rest of our crap.
I know.
Which is hilarious to
like,
me.
People are more interested in watching us laugh than watch like an actual war game review. It's funny.
So maybe we should just put like a 5-minute video of us laughing.
Why do we bother?
I don't know. I don't know what, but it has to be spontaneous. And we've had 3 or 4 of those over the years.
Yeah.
I mentioned in that video Washington's War Take 2 because we did about...
That was like 20 minutes
of
us laugh. It was very late.
It was like 1 o'clock in the morning, the night before. I want to say it was before Memorial Day. So it was like the Sunday night before Memorial Day.
Was nuts.
We had played all afternoon and all night, and we just lost it in 20 minutes. And it was one of those laughs where at the end I was physically spent.
Yes.
Because my body had convulsed, and it was just crazy.
I look back at that review and I'm like...
Yeah, it was rough. It was rough. Most of our reviews are rough, but... That is what it is. Anyway, so that's what we're trying to do. Just a little additional content that adds to what we offer.
Yes.
A little variety. Variety is the spice of life.
It is.
That's what we're trying to do. So.
Well, and we're at a point now where we have, between us, a combined like 10 years worth of war game experience.
Yeah.
And
we played some war games, but just not hardcore war games like we play now.
But
I played Axis and Allies 42,000 times when I was in high school.
A lot of people who have been in this hobby a lot longer than us.
Oh, yeah.
But we've, if you'd asked me a couple years ago, I'd be like, I don't know if I'm a newbie. Like, we've played a lot of games where I feel more confident now in being able to teach those publicly and to be able to provide more than just like, hey, we liked this.
It was a good game. Yeah. We can now say better what we liked about it.
Yeah, it's easier for me to articulate, I liked this thing because it did this thing, which represented this other thing.
Or it compared to this mechanic I really enjoyed in this game.
Yeah.
That's been one of my favorite things now when because I'm like, I've got a catalog of, we've played 500 games, and I can now start to draw on that experience. So that's been fun.
And there's still a ton that we haven't played. P.S.
Look at this.
This is the first time you're hearing about this. I bought the ASL solo mod.
Oh, good. The solo module, so you can learn it, and then we can play it together.
I want to tinker around with it just to I don't know. I don't know why I did it. Because it's insanely expensive. And
I know.
And it was very cheap comparatively. Oh, yeah.
When's it coming?
Fairly soon. It's from NMP.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if they got it back in stock or if they just found a couple in the warehouse. But that thing is like $200 or more on the secondhand market, and I got it for they were selling for $90. So.
Got it.
That's on the way.
Yeah, and we also have. I mean, you have the starter set.
Oh yeah, I've got ASL Starter Kit 1. I got the core rules, and I got Beyond Valor, and I've got Paratroopers.
We'll get there.
Like there's things that are coming down the line to look forward to. There's stuff out there, and I'm very grateful that we're in a position to be able to do those things and to provide more for you. If you want to support the channel, we do have a Patreon account and a campaign. You can get in on there and support for as little as like $2 a month.
Yeah, I think
you can do it as a one-off, no big deal.
I think we have 70 or so patrons
every
month.
And it rotates. Some people join, some people leave, some people rejoin. So
some people join, they watch a couple of videos, and then they cancel.
And there's a dedicated Slack channel that you get invited to that I'm on basically constantly throughout the work week.
Yeah.
So if you have any questions, we've got a really cool community on there. There's so many international people on there.
Yeah, which is awesome.
A ton of cultural background, a ton of war game backgrounds.
Yeah.
And it's really, really nice. But, that support that's been coming in helps us to get these oddball expenses and, to dive into certain things and provide us with the opportunity to do more and put more out there.
Yeah.
So I'm very grateful for everyone who has ever donated to us. If you've ever bought a t-shirt, anything, those things help us, and we're trying to do more to kind of put more out there for you, especially educationally speaking. I'm hoping these war game the basic training ones. I hope they're
scares
helpful.
me, man.
So if they're helpful, let us know.
Yeah.
Because
The first one posts here shortly.
yeah,
So.
that'll be up before this video goes
Yeah.
out. So hopefully you've already seen that. If not, it's out there, and there's more of those coming. So something to look forward to.
I do also want to. We have a lot of good friends that we've developed over the past, 5 years, which is amazing for me to say that we've been doing this for 5 years.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of great people out there, a lot of great other content creators and publishers. Tom Russell's one of those people that I want to talk to every time we see them. Mark Herman, and there's just been so many great people to us. I don't know if we just have been really lucky or timing or something, but it's just been great, and it's helped us, I think, do what we do.
Yes, specifically to us, everyone that we've met in this industry has been very kind, very welcoming, and very generous.
Without a question, even the people that we've only said hi to for like 13 seconds,
people who were super mega busy,
Yeah.
still like they got time to say hi and be like, oh, and then let them move on.
So I just want to take that opportunity to say thanks to, and I'm not going to name any names because I could name almost everybody.
It's everyone,
right? But we really do consider that we have like 10,000 friends out there, and
yeah,
I know I've never had 10,000 friends. I'm kind of a prickly jerk, but I don't come off that way on camera.
No. Speaking of 10,000 friends, as of this going out, there's still a little bit more time. If you look up the 10,000 subscriber giveaway, that you got a couple more days to go on there and comment on that video for any games that are in that video that you might want to try to win. We're going to draw those on February 15th, is what you said. So feel free to go and do that.
What's this?
What's this? These are all. I bought more
Cardboard
shipping
boxes.
I've already got a bunch of them are already boxed up, but I needed more. So, again, we have opportunities to provide games to you. We're going to send these out free of charge to everyone. So go and sign up. You can win some games, some expansions, some bits and pieces.
Not everybody's going to win, but everybody will win.
But everyone has an opportunity to.
Yeah, you have an opportunity, and we've said it. We're going to ship no matter where it is.
If it's legally allowed to.
Well, yeah. I'm not going to ship to the moon. I'm not going to buy a seat on SpaceX next rocket. Like that. But anyway, it's just our way to say thanks.
Yes,
I think.
Yes. So I think that's where we're going to call it for today.
I think 50 minutes is good enough.
Yes, and we'll see you next month for another one of these to see what we actually played in February and how some of those were.
That's putting more pressure on us even than normal to make sure we play 3 or 4 new things.
What if we only play one? Then it's just a short segment.
It's just a short segment.
And then we'll look forward to what's coming in the future. And then if you are one of our patrons, I'm going to put polls on there about, I'll give you the opportunity to suggest topics, and we'll maybe have like a more focused discussion about some type of war game genre
or a mechanic or something
or some other hobby related aspect, so there'll be maybe a bit more focused discussion in upcoming ones of these. But all that being said, very grateful that you stick around. If you're at this part of the video, you're one of the hardcore ones,
or you got nothing to do.
Yes,
which may be the case. Maybe you're doing dishes, or maybe you're doing laundry, or maybe you're, I don't know, bored.
So if you're watching this, comment below. Just say yeah in a comment, and it'll freak everyone out because there'll be a bunch of those.
I want to know who actually watches till the end.
So do it. But appreciate you very much for tuning in. There's a lot more content coming from us soon.
Yeah.
I've been Alexander from theplayersaid.com.
And I'm Grant.